And online, WSGW.com.
A mostly cloudy good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. Cloudy, drizzly in some spots. Yeah, you take a look at the pavement, and it's wet out there. Not a lot of precipitation, but just enough to, make it a little miserable. 41 degrees at the airport, 42 here at Radio Center. Downtown Midland is at 44. Downtown Bay City is currently coming in at 42. We have a west breeze, 5 miles per hour. So that helps us a little bit. 30.15 and steady is the barometric pressure. Very interesting weather. It's 80 degrees for a couple of days, 60 for another, and then 40 for another, 24 at night, and then it'll warm up a little bit. Let's go beyond that just a little bit. We've got a couple of high-pressure systems that are up in Canada. And there's not really a lot of frontal activity going on. Doesn't really appear to be any major low pressure systems. And you take a look at the barometer, 30.15 and steady. So usually that means, partly cloudy skies anyway, and sun. But we have a phenomenon going on that's very unique to Michigan, and that is the lakes. And what we're seeing right now is some really chilly temperatures coming over. Well, the water isn't exactly warm, but we actually have some lake effect type activity. And that's the reason why we're seeing the clouds. And that's the reason why we're getting the little drips of precipitation here and there. So the atmosphere is pretty moist, pretty wet. Humidity is right up there. So we're actually getting a little bit of rain shower activity, but not much. Now, some folks did pick up some rain yesterday, Sunday night and Monday morning. We did see some half-inch totals around the Great Lakes Bay region over in Michigan's thumb and in northern Michigan. And over the last 24 hours, once again, we've seen just a little bit, not much, traces of precipitation, and that's been pretty much it. But as we go through the remainder of the day today, we're going to continue to see some spotty precipitation here and there, nothing major. The winds are going to pick up just a little bit. Right now, as we said, only 5 miles per hour. They're going to pick up to 13, 14 miles per hour as we go through the evening. And then northwest winds tonight. And that's what's going to generate the possibility of not only seeing some showers, but a few snow flurries and snow showers, especially in northern Michigan. We'll drop down to 28 for a low tonight. And then during the day tomorrow, partly cloudy skies, clearing as we go through the day. So tomorrow doesn't really look like all that bad of a day. We'll get up to, we won't even be as warm as what we are right now. 40 is our projected high for tomorrow. Clearing skies, the high pressure system over western Lake Superior. So it's going to begin to change the direction of the wind, and it is going to alleviate some of this lake effect type activity that we're seeing right now. So that's why we're not going to see the precipitation. Same thing will hold true as we move into Thursday. We'll see more in the way of sun. We'll have a light northeast breeze on Thursday. 50 miles per hour is what we're going to be looking at. 29 for a low on Thursday night, so still pretty cold. Then on Friday, we should see some sun. We're looking at 55, 56 degrees, clear skies on Friday night, 32 for a low. So we're going to have some chilly temperatures starting with tonight all the way up into Saturday morning, where temperatures will be at or below the freezing mark. Then as we move into Saturday, 58 for a high, 40 for a low. Sunday, we'll have an increase in the clouds as we go through the day and a little bit better chance of shower activity, because this activity is going to be coming from a much more normal direction. It'll be coming from eastern Colorado, eastern Nebraska. The low pressure system will be tracking. It won't affect our weather on Saturday, but more so later in the day on Sunday night, and into the day on Monday. And along with that is going to come warmer temperatures. Sunday will be about 62, 63. Same thing will be holding true on Monday. But all throughout this period, we are going to be looking at below average temperatures, and that below average temperature trend will continue all the way through Mother's Day and the day after Mother's Day. Precipitation pattern will pick up a little bit, and it'll become a little bit more pronounced as we get into the latter half of the weekend. So activity is going to pick up a little bit. Our values will turn into be normal, maybe even a tad above normal as we roll into the week and then move into the Mother's Day weekend. So that'll kind of give you an idea of what's going on. 61 is our normal high for this time of the year. 40 is the average low. 88, the record high, set way back in 1915. The record low, 22, set in 1907. And a year ago, 53 was our high, 32 was our low. Sun will set this evening at 8:33. Rise tomorrow morning at 6:35. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. Rick Hollister standing by. We'll be talking to him in a moment to kind of get an idea what the markets are doing. Volatility continues, and we're just hoping that the volatility heads in the right direction. Rick will give us the latest on that in just a moment. But before we do that, we want to remind you the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrient Ag Solutions.
Nutrient Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrient Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrientagsolutions.com.
Say, do you want to unlock the secret to higher yields? If you're applying dry fertilizer, the key to better yield potential is Titan XC. Titan XC is a fertilizer biocatalyst that unlocks and releases the bound-up nutrients in granular fertilizer, promoting better root uptake and plant growth. Drive performance this season and beyond. Release more nutrition. Expect better results with Titan XC. For more information, visit lpi.ag/unlock or contact your Nutrient Ag Solutions crop consultant today. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Steiner Tractor Parts. You know, they know that your tractor may be your hobby, your passion, your livelihood, or even your legacy for the next generation. Steiner Tractor shares your enthusiasm for these antique machines, and they know that you want to keep them running. That's why they take their job personally at Steiner Tractor Parts. They understand how your life and job both stop if your tractor stops running. New parts for old tractors made easy. 800-234-3280 or go to their website, steinertractor.com. We say good morning to Rick Hollister. Rick, how you doing?
Good, Terry. How are you today?
Hey, we're just making hay, at least trying anyway. I mentioned it yesterday to Gary Kaufman over at Star of the West. Mother Nature's cruel, isn't she?
Boy, for 26 April, and we still have snow flurries in the forecast potential for this later this afternoon. That is a little cruel at the moment, doesn't it?
And I took a look at the freeze warnings that are up. You might identify with a couple of these counties anyway: Berrien, Branch, Cass, Hillsdale, and St. Joseph counties.
Yeah.
Freeze warnings up.
Yeah. Yep. Tough on that fruit crop over in Berrien County. Boy, they've had a couple of tough springs. Last year we had a late frost that they got part of their crops, and I don't know how much of it's flowered out or budded out this year yet, but I'm sure there's some because the maple trees are certainly shedding, and that looks like it's going to be pretty tough on the daffodils too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does. I'm just glad we don't have that many crops in the ground right now.
Yeah, at the moment. Yep. So the grain markets have kind of quieted down here this week. Last week we added to the volatility when Indonesia said they were going to ban the exports of Malaysian palm oil, which, Terry, represents 40% of the world export trade in vegetable oils. That palm oil is the largest traded vegetable oil in the world. And so soybeans were sharply higher last Friday, and then we came in yesterday we saw clarifications throughout the weekend that said, no, that's just their refined palm oil, not the crude palm oil. So their refined palm oil that they export is a very small part of what they actually export. They mainly export crude palm oil. So that sent the beans back lower yesterday. We're up a little bit today, but trying to consolidate today. Corn's just up 4 or 5 cents, 7 on the new crop. Soybeans are up 4 or 5 cents also. Today up 20 cents after being down hard yesterday. So still volatility, and I would remind growers we do have expanded margin limits starting next week. The Chicago Board of Trade is moving limits even wider, so they can move a greater amount either direction any given day. So check up on those margin limits, and that probably increases the volatility here, Terry, as we go into our spring. A lot of folks, of course, looking at our weather and not only cold in the northern belt and slow start on planting, but also this dryness that has crept into Nebraska now, and wildfires pointing that out, how dry it's gotten in Nebraska, where they have gotten to start on corn planting because it's dry, but they're going to need some rain along the way too, and that dry area that was northern Texas and Oklahoma and Kansas, western Kansas last year, that all seems to be spreading to the east a little bit here this spring. So concern there, and then concern a little bit of dryness in Brazil for their second corn crop too, that bears watching. Seems like a drier pattern moving in there too. So the market has a lot still to chew on. It just feels like this week is a bit of a consolidation week, and quieting down a little bit, looking for some new news.
Speaking of new news, when's the next government report coming out? When's the next report on anything coming out?
Yeah, we get our weekly crop progress reports, which showed the wheat in the U.S. Deteriorating week to week. There's less of it rated good to excellent. I think 27% rated good to excellent now. A week ago, we were near 30% good to excellent. So we get those updates every week. We get planting updates, and those come out on every Monday night. But our next big monthly supply and demand report, Terry, is May 12th. Okay. So we've got a couple of weeks to go here of other news before we get that update from the USDA.
All right. So on the board right now at the Andersons, what do you have?
Yeah, at Hemlock right now, old crop corn is at $7.46. New crop corn for fall delivery at $6.91. Old soybeans at $16.53. New crop beans at $14.45. Red and white wheat both the same. Old crop at $10.05. New crop for this summer delivery at $9.90. That's red or white at $9.90.
All right. You have a good one.
All right, Terry. Thank you.
Rick, thanks a lot. Rick Hollister over at the Andersons. More in depth, what's going on in Chicago? Not only the ag futures, but some of the other related issues. Doug Klein from Oppenheimer now with our market report, brought to you by the folks at Kryjak's House Family Restaurant. You got to supply the food for an event coming up. How about you want to reserve a table for Mother's Day or any special event? You can do it by using this number, 989-894-5531. Kryjak's House, corner of Cass and Michigan on Bay City's south side. Well, Doug, read them and weep, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Crude oil is up about 2.5% today, $2.62 on 101. Biden shut down some drilling permits that Trump opened up, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. Obama shut them down. Trump opened them up. Biden shut them back down. So that's North Slope of Alaska. So they were thinking about drilling up there, but yeah, who needs more oil when, we got plenty, I guess, but whatever. So
we can get it from Venezuela.
Jesus God.
I think I'm gonna send Miguel Cabrera down there to negotiate. I think he's got a hot hand right now in Venezuela.
We could use a hot hand instead of a hot mouth, but okay, we'll get over that.
There you go.
Here's your wonderful numbers. The May corn is 806, up 5 3/4. The December corn is 743 1/4, up 9 1/4. And September of 23 corn is 695, up 5 1/2. The May wheat is May soybeans 17.11, up 7.5. The November soybeans 15.05, up 10.75, and November of 23 soybeans 14.20, up 10.5. The May wheat is 10.86, up 24 cents. December wheat is 10.86.5, up 20.25, and then July of 23 wheat is 10.28.5, up 13.75. Crude oil is 101.21, up $2.67. The heating oil is 376.28, up 10.8 cents. Gasoline is 329.70, up 7.7 cents, and natural gas is 714.75. That's up 25.75 cents. Canadian dollar, U.S. dollar gets you 127.93 at the border. That's up 60 ticks. The yen is at 127.36, down 76 ticks. The euro, 106.59, down 52 ticks. The dollar's at 102.16, up 42 ticks. Gold is at 19.0420, up $8.20. Silver's at 23.65, down 8 cents. Platinum's at 9.0780, up $2.80.
Have a good one.
Thanks, you too.
You bet, Doug. Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. Jerry Samolsky joins us in a moment.
Have you seen the new 2022 Chevy Silverado pickup? Hi, I'm Steve Cook from the Cook GM Superstore in Vassar. Not only is there a new grille and other exterior upgrades, but best of all is the new interior, including an all-new, much larger touchscreen that customers have been asking for years. And right now you can lease that all-new 22 Silverado Crew Cab 4-wheel drive starting from $358. And don't forget that even as you've heard on the news that dealers around the country are gouging customers, leasing that same truck for as much as $500 or $600 a month, at Cook Chevrolet Buick with your GM discount, it's only $358. And more good news is that at Cook's, the Chevy Blazer is still only $228 a month. And finally, we've got a large shipment of Chevy Equinoxes coming in for even less, only at Cook Chevrolet Buick, M15 Top of the Hill in Vassar.
Payments based on GM employee and family lease. $28.73 on Blazer, $29.12 on Silverado due at signing. Call or visit us online at cookchevybuick.com. Chevy, find new roads.
Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Quality Roasting of Reese, purchasing local soybeans, processing local beans, and marketing local Exceller meal, which is a high bypass soybean meal for your dairy herd. They've been doing that since 1991. Contact your nutritionist or local feed dealer today and ask them about Exceller meal. Jerry Samolsky, good morning. How are you?
Wonderful, Terry.
What should we be looking at right now?
Terry, with all this rain we've been getting, luckily it's not as wet as we think. So it's dry enough to get out and get some things going. So right now, again, we don't like to seed lawns and do things in the spring with grass seed, but you can do it. And now's the time. Get it in now as soon as possible. And that pre-emergent crabgrass control that you're going to put down, you don't want to do that in areas where you're going to be seeding new turf, because that can inhibit the grass seeds from germinating. So, again, that crabgrass control, now is the time for it too. This weekend, those beautiful days, Saturday and Sunday, did an awful lot to increase the growing degree days. We accumulated a lot of heat. We're still well behind last year, but that really started closing the gap. We were half what we were last year. Now we're closing that gap, and we're getting closer to more seasonal anyway. So Get out there, get that stuff going. It's beautiful weather. It's look cool, but you don't sweat so much when you're working hard.
That's the way I look at it. Jerry, thanks a lot. We'll talk to you again. All righty.
You got it, Terry.
Jerry Samolsky, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville.
Looking for a career where every day is different? Got a knack for working on farm equipment? We're looking to grow our team. Hudson Inc., your local John Deere dealer, is responsible for keeping farmers of America running. Honest, dependable, and self-reliant mechanical technicians is who we are looking for. Hudson provides continuing education, tool allowances, and benefits. If you're interested in becoming a part of the Hudson team, go online and search Hudson Inc. Careers for more information.
Everybody's talking about planting. There are some folks here in Michigan that are talking about harvesting. Our Ashley Davenport from Michigan Ag Today talks about a big crop here in Michigan.
In the last week, Michigan has experienced all of the seasons. Jamie Clover Adams, executive director of Michigan Asparagus, says it's fared the rain, snow, and heat.
My growers are telling me the crop's in pretty good shape. Emergence is happened in some parts of Southwest Michigan, where it normally is a couple of weeks ahead of our major growing area up in Oceana County. A lot of the guys told me that it's going to depend on the number of heat units we get. So we all know we had a nice warm weekend this weekend.
She says if the weather holds, harvest in southern Michigan could come as soon as next week. Oceana County, the biggest area of production in Michigan, won't be until mid-May. Asparagus development is a little bit behind last year, but right on track with season averages.
Many of the growers I've talked to, they keep very good records. May 10th seems to be the average. And so we're going to be a little bit later than the average, but not as much as you'd think.
Asparagus needs to be harvested by hand, which takes a lot of labor. Clover Adams says that those workers are already making their way to Michigan.
They're being flexible, they're being strategic, and they're positioning their labor so that it's there when they need it. The downside to that is that comes with cost. That has to be figured in as well. But I have not heard from any grower that they just are not going to be able to get labor. So people, as far as picking labor, are in pretty good shape.
The asparagus industry has also been dealing with high fertilizer prices and crop protectant shortages.
Ashley Davenport. And again, as far as development goes on our fruit, for the most part, we're looking at very minimal, if any, damage with this cold weather coming up. Steve Anderson joining me right now from Baird to get us an idea of what's going on in New York. Steve, good morning.
Hey, good morning to you, sir.
How are we looking?
Not particularly good today. We've got the Dow Jones Industrial Average down about 560 points, putting it at 33,487. And the volume there is 363 million shares. NASDAQ's down 416 at 12,588. Volume 390 million shares. Locally, Caterpillar 212.84 down 386. Deere 385.07 down 44. CMS 71.35 up 76. Dow 67.96 down 11. DuPont 66.30 down 150. Corteva 57.25 down a nickel. GM 38.13 down 169. Trinzio 47.38 down 183. Walmart 156.15 down 79. Home Depot 302.36 down 263. Huntington Bank 13.81 down 11, and AT&T is down by 15 at 19.36. So not the best report I've ever given you.
Well, there's always a tomorrow, right?
There is indeed.
Steve, you take care. Have a great day, okay?
Thank you. You do the same. Bye-bye.
I will. Steve Anderson over at Baird and Company.
A good grower always knows the forecast. And with interest rates forecasted to rise in the near future, there's never been a better time to lock in a historically low rate on a new irrigation system at your local Zematic dealer. For a limited time, get an additional 1% interest rate discount on already low financing and the earliest delivery dates in the industry. So your new Zematic pivot is ready to roll this spring. Terms and conditions apply. See your local dealer or visit lindsay.com/spring sale for full details.
Taking a look at that crop progress report that Rick Hollister was talking about, we have seen a major improvement in the winter wheat crop, though, here in Michigan, albeit that the national is not faring all that well. In the poor to very poor category of winter wheat here in the state, 25%. It was quite a bit more than that about 2-3 weeks ago. We'll be back at 12:30 with an update. Now we conclude our program with the playing of our national anthem.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton,